Des Moines and all of Central Iowa, welcome to Mac's World Live. Mac's World is your world. Every day we talk about the issues and topics that matter most to you. And as always, it's your voice we want to hear in Mac's World. So join the conversation by calling 515-244-0077. And now, here's the host of Mac's World Live, J. Michael McCoy.
All right, welcome 6 minutes after 3 o'clock on this beautiful... I like rain. I don't know about you, but I like rain. You know, the only thing I don't like about rain is wearing glasses. My eyes can't get that surgery, whatever that's called. They won't do that. So
LASIK.
What?
LASIK.
LASIK. Thank you. LASIK surgery. My wife has that. So the only thing I don't like about rain is just that it gets my glasses all wet. I suppose if I wore a cap or something, that'd be good. But I don't know about you. I know it's getting chilly out there, and folks with arthritis is starting to feel them in the bones, and I feel for you. I really do. I feel for you. But, man, I love this weather. I just absolutely love this weather. All right, want to introduce you to somebody new with the radio station. I want to introduce you to Russ Coenen. Is that right?
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yes, sir, you do.
All right. And Russ is as you can probably tell if you're watching on the webcast, is what do you call it, an official?
Oh, I do sports officiating, yes.
Now, when you say sports, do you mean all sports?
No. Basketball, baseball, softball, some football, but mainly basketball, baseball, and softball.
Okay, stick in the ball. Yeah. Can you turn his mic up just a little bit, please? All right. And you're from Des Moines?
Actually, I'm from Woodward.
Born and raised in Woodward?
No, born and raised in a small town in southwest Iowa, Dunlap.
And but you live in Woodward now.
Right.
And you're a good son. You take care of your mother.
Yep. I do, and my other two brothers do. I got a brother in Ankeny and a brother in Panama, Iowa, and he comes back a couple times a month to help her out.
So you're all good sons.
Try to be.
And where does she live?
In Woodward.
In Woodward. All right. Well, she gave you a story she thought that we ought to talk about, and so I'm going to honor her, and we'll talk about that story a little bit later. Somebody that she was probably pretty aware of. Let me think. How old's your mom?
90.
Yeah, no, she wouldn't remember this. This was before her time. We're talking about General Blackjack Pershing, who retired from active duty in 1924. But a lot of people know one of the things that General Blackjack Pershing did to change the course of a few islands out in the middle of the Pacific so many, many years ago. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that and how he basically may have saved the Philippines from terrorists. But I want to catch you up on a couple of bigger news stories that are going on right now. I don't know if you've heard, and you should know about this simply because it's gonna impact you somehow, one way or another. I mean, we are not a large community. I know we are like the 71st largest media market, but this is just Des Moines, Iowa. Okay, this is just Ames. This is just Boone. This is just Woodward. This is just Indianola. You know, and when you've got a large footprint from an employer here in town, and some things may change, that will have an impact on you. And the dateline is Johnston, Iowa, the interim CEO of DuPont. Remember, it's DuPont that owns Pioneer. DuPont says he's talking with executives of other large corporations about possible mergers within the agricultural community, heating up concern about the future of one of Iowa's largest employers, DuPont Pioneer. Ed Breen, who is the DuPont interim CEO and board chairman, says, quote, "You've seen all the activity in the past 6 months. Everyone is talking to everyone. That's a true statement. And I'm personally talking to CEOs of some of the other companies. Falling corn and soybean prices with stubbornly high prices for land, seeds, and other inputs are squeezing farm income. Earnings for farmers are expected to tumble." Now, listen to this. Tumble 36%. Now, I want you to think about the income that you have. Maybe it's fixed. Maybe it's Social Security. Maybe you're living off your 401k. God bless you for taking the time to do that. Maybe you've got some investments. But what if in 2016 you were asked to live off 36% less than you did last year? Breen, again, who is the DuPont interim CEO, said consolidation should happen. Clearly, we have our nose in the tent to see if there is anything that makes great sense for shareholders. Breen replaced DuPont's embattled CEO Ellen Coleman, who retired earlier this month after nearly 3 decades of the Delaware-based company. Coleman's abrupt departure at DuPont, the chemical and seed giant, reignited the debate over whether the conglomerate should be broken apart. During an earnings call, Breen and other executives fielded questions from analysts about Pioneer's fit in the company and about the current agricultural downturn. Now, not only did I tell you that farm income was going to be down, here's how that impacts this company. DuPont reported third quarter net income Tuesday, 26 cents a share, compared to 47 cents a share last year. Sales were down 17%. Agriculture was among the sectors pulling down earnings, with quarterly sales falling 30%. The agriculture downturn has sharply lowered the values of DuPont, Monsanto, Deere, and other agricultural companies. It also led to Deere and other companies to cut hundreds of Iowa workers. Now, you understand DuPont, Johnston, Monsanto, Marshalltown, John Deere, Ankeny, Waterloo, so many other places. You know, we think sometimes that maybe we're going to be a little bulletproof because we've got such a great insurance industry, and we are. We are one of the top 25 cities in the nations for millenniums. What does that mean? People under 30. The downtown housing boom is all coming from millennials. Here's something that I didn't know. Well, did I know it? I knew it, but not to the extent that I know it now. Downtown Des Moines is a hot place right now. Almost every block of every building, remember those cruddy buildings over on the east side by the Capitol? It's brand new. Remember that old big warehouse that burned down years ago just on the other side of 235 from the Botanical Center? It's gone. It's going to be new housing. All that area where the Gateway was, down there by Meredith and a little bit east of that, 1,400 block of Locust, 1,200 block of... It's all brand new. And now you've got the huge come-and-go executive building that's being built downtown, and everything is moving. It's just incredible. Well, a lot of that comes from the insurance companies. Obviously, those are our largest employers. The state of Iowa is our largest employer in the state of Iowa or in Des Moines. Second is going to be the principal financial company. You're then going to be somewhere around Iowa City and Iowa State. And then you're going to be looking at who? Monsanto. You're going to be looking at DuPont. You're going to be looking at John Deere. Go out there and look at that massive, massive plant that John Deere has on that Ankeny tax base. We couldn't survive
Mac, don't mean
with
to
the loss
correct,
of these cities.
I don't mean to correct you, but it's millennials.
Millennials, thank you.
And just a note of interest, in case anybody cares, most of the lower or the east side of the river is all owned by the homosexual community. Just they're the ones that's putting all the money and all the development into that particular area. Just saying.
Well, I don't think that's a true statement, but thank you for giving us your opinion. I could name you several investors who own property on the east side. But it is a new city in the East Village, and they have done an excellent job. All right, so what do I want you to think about? I want you to pray. I want you to pray, first of all, for God's will to be done in our community. Second of all, when it comes to DuPont, pray that the guts of this company is not ripped out. And what I'm talking about the guts, I'm talking about senior leadership. Oh, I love all the jobs that we have here in middle management and production. And the scientists, the PhDs out at DuPont are incredible. But if they move their headquarters from here to somewhere else, it's just a matter of time. Look at Nationwide Insurance. Did you know that Nationwide Insurance in the past year has moved most of their executives to Ohio? I know some of them. Nationwide moved their corporate offices that they had here back into the main corporate offices back in Ohio. Yes, Des Moines has a huge Nationwide campus, and they're not going anywhere soon. But you always want to have the head folks at the head of the table, the board of directors, the president, the main shareholders, to live in our community. We may see the same thing happen to Meredith, a huge family-owned company for so many years. They're now being shopped because they're very valuable. They have very valuable assets. They not only have great magazines, but they have many, many TV stations. So what we need to do for our community is pray for God's will to be done in our community, and then pray over each one of those individual employers so that hopefully God will see that we are a good, God-fearing community, most of us, and that he can trust us to raise our children in a biblical worldview, be good stewards of the gifts that he gives us, like money and things like that, and to hold his name up higher than any other name, including any company name. We'll keep you in tune with what's going on here with all the news. Coming up next, remember that little thing at that McDonald's in Ankeny? You know why it happened, the shooting? Yeah, I'll tell you. Next, live.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Hi, I'm J. Michael McCoy, and about 20 years ago, I went to a used car salesman by the name of John Hewitt. He had a little shop over there on North 2nd Avenue called John's Auto Sales, and I bought a car. I found that experience to be one that I had never had before from a used car salesman. He was honest, he was dependable, he had integrity, and he did what he said he was going to do. Well, over the years, between my kids and grandkids, I purchased 7 vehicles from John's Auto Sales. And last month, I asked him to be a sponsor. I can tell you about their huge selection. I can tell you about their years of experience. I can tell you about their honest integrity. But all I really need to tell you is that I bought 7 cars, and you can trust them. John's Auto Sales, 5435 2nd Avenue, Des Moines.
You need a good ride when you hit the trail. Trust the man with the cars, and he goes by the name of Big John. Big John. Big John.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
21 minutes after the hour on this 27th day of October in the Lord's year 2015. I'm J. Michael McCoy. Finally feels like fall out there, doesn't it? Yeah, I like it. You know, I was at a Bible study today at the new YMCA, the new Healthy Living YMCA over there in Clive, about 60th and 60th and University. And I was looking out the window, and I wasn't daydreaming, Russ. I wasn't daydreaming. But I was noticing that with the wind, the leaves were just falling off the trees. Just falling off the trees. So I think that Ed Wilson last night said we're probably done with anything over 60 degrees for a while, and that'd be fine with me.
That and the rain, Mac, is what's knocking the leaves down.
Yeah, how long are we supposed to get this rain?
I think all day, pretty much. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure.
Now, you and I are both short wearers.
Yes.
Are you still comfortable in this weather in shorts?
Yes.
Will you be wearing shorts like I wear shorts? Like
sure, because I don't have very far to go. I mean, it isn't like downtown.
Right.
It's, I go from the parking ramp to here and blast back into the car.
Yeah, so, all right. I want to update you on a story we talked about earlier. A man accused of shooting two men outside of an Ankeny McDonald's Saturday. This is really more bizarre than it really should be. I mean, wait till you hear. Why do you think the guy pulled out his .40 caliber gun and started shooting at these guys? Because they molested a woman in the restaurant and they wanted to get back at him, and the guy shot at him. No. Let me think. They were trying to rob the Ankeny McDonald's, and these guys tried to be heroes and step in and stop it. No. Yeah, good job. No, here it is. You ready? It's the P word. Pickles. Yes, one of my favorite condiments. Pickles. So here's what happened. The man accused of shooting two men outside of an Ankeny McDonald's Saturday apparently followed his victims into the parking lot and got his .40 caliber handgun from his car, then started an argument with the pair. Gabriel Coco of Des Moines allegedly shot Nicholas Culver and Justin Fong, both 18, sometime before 10:23 p.m. in the 2600 block of Southwest State Street. Apparently, Coco became very upset when they started throwing what?
Pickles.
Pickles at each other. The 18-year-olds and some other McDonald's employees got involved in it, fought laughing. They said the victims outside the restaurant were unprovoked, but yet he still got his .40 caliber pistol from the car. He confronted both men, started arguing. Fong told police that he was walking towards Coco's car to get a license plate when Coco fired his pistol multiple times. Fong was struck in the arm with a bullet, then continued into his upper torso, causing internal bleeding and possible paralysis. Coco struck Culver in the head with the butt of his pistol, another complaint states. As Coco walked to his car, he fired warning shots at the men. One of those shots hit Culver in the right arm. Aren't warning shots supposed to be up in the air?
Yep.
I mean, you don't point at somebody and, do you? I don't know. I've never shot a gun at somebody. Coco turned himself into the police sheriffs about 20 minutes after the shooting. He paid a $20,000 bond through a California-based company and was released to Polk County Jail on Sunday. His preliminary hearing is set for November 3rd, so that's next week. Pickles. Did you ever get mad at a guy for throwing pickles at you?
Are either of these victims, or is their life in danger? I mean, as far as...
Yeah. The one guy, hold on. A good question. Culver is still in serious condition at a Des Moines hospital. Fong has been released.
Okay, so, if this guy should happen to die, your life is worth spending the rest of your life in prison over pickles?
Pickles. Now, I personally like pickles.
So do I.
I eat pickles on everything.
I was with you the day you bought that monster jar of dill pickles in Fairway.
That's right. In fact, I still got some of those pickles. But it isn't worth dying over. But it's just, we're just not nice to each other. Do you like pickles?
Well, they're okay. I was trying to think of, when you talk about pickles there, I was trying to think of some kind of a pun or joke to go with this McDonald's and pickles.
2 all-beef patty special sauce, special, blah, blah, blah. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, pickles on a sesame seed
bun.
Mac, I actually won a $5 certificate one time on KGGO radio for saying that 2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
How long ago was that? Were you like
1970s.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I bet it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
that Moffat and Morgan? No, No, Moffat wasn't here. Well, he would have been here in the late
that era.
Yeah, that era. Okay, 95 KGGO. All right. If you're, do you ever fly in your career? Do they ever fly you to big basketball games or football games to be a?
Oh no. Well, been flown to different like all-star games.
Yeah. Were you referee or you just
just a guest?
Yeah, just because you're a good referee and you work for the league and.
Oh, they felt sorry for me because of my looks.
Oh, man, you got a face for radio, I'll tell you that. Well, the Des Moines International Airport is adding new flights to St. Louis, but they come at the expense of another destination. The airport announced Tuesday Southwest Airlines will begin twice daily flights to St. Louis. According to the airport, it will give travelers more connection to 21 of Des Moines' top 25 destinations served by Southwest. But they will be ending service to Chicago. So Southwest you can't go Des Moines, Chicago, which means you don't most Southwest flights go through Chicago? Aren't they cutting a big nose off to spite their face?
I don't know.
Because you connect in St. Louis. No, I'm probably wrong on that. I think you connect in St. Louis. All right. This is one of the most bizarre stories I have heard in a very long time. I don't know how to handle it. I don't know what to think about it. I don't want to be a bad boy. I don't want to be a bigot. I don't want to be unkind to my fellow brothers and sisters in Christ. But wait till you hear this one, Russ. Iowa prison officials are in the midst of drafting a policy addressing the treatments of transgendered inmates. Although it's not clear yet whether state officials will approve spending taxpayer money for sex reassignment surgery. Did you ever think you'd live this long?
No, I didn't. No.
California. What? Go ahead.
They're not going to do the surgeries in the prisons, right?
No, but your money would pay for it.
Okay.
Your money would pay for it. Some prisoner in there who's in there for life for doing probably a horrible thing, who knows, and he has decided that he's a she, or it could go the other way around, and now they want you and I to pay for it. California prison officials last week set the first standards, California, in the national for sex reassignment surgery for inmates after spending years in litigation battling over the issue. Fred Scalita, assistant director to the Iowa Department of Corrections, said Monday a state prison system medical committee is currently drafting a policy regarding transgendered inmates. The committee is headed by Dr. Herbens Dole, the prison's system's medical director, and it includes nurses, psychiatrists, etc. The policy is expected to become final in 2 to 3 months. Iowa's prison, which on Monday held more than 8,300 men and women in 9 state correctional institutions, houses, guess how many transgender? There's 8,300. Now, we've got an entire political system working on a policy. We've got doctors, psychiatrists, nurses, politicians, people who make a lot of money taking care of people who have heart attacks, people who have diabetes, people who have breast cancer, people who have real medical issues. There are 8,300 men and women in 9 state institutions. Guess how many transgendered inmates there are that they're working on this policy for? I mean, you'd think, what, at least 10%, right? 830?
I'd say under 10 people total.
Under 10?
A half of 1%?
Well, the answer is 1. The answer is 1.
Oh, man.
When does these people wait till they get sentenced to prison to discover that they're transgendered so that they can get a sex change on the taxpayer dime?
I don't know. I don't know. I think they should listen to Spock when he said the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. The inmate we currently have on count is receiving hormone treatment, Scalia added, explaining that the prisoner is made transitioning from a male to a female. He declined to identify the inmate. Of course he did, because the guy needs privacy. No medical procedures have taken place at this time. To qualify for sex reassignment surgery in California, now this is California, inmates must be A, diagnosed what is medically known as gender dysphoria. 2, have lived as a member of the preferred gender for at least 12 months. So if you're a guy, you got to live like a woman for at least 12 months. And 3, have expressed a desire for sex reassignment surgery for at least 2 years. Prison mental health professionals will make referrals. Now they're finally talking to the right people, the mental health officials. You know, I've never been to prison. I've been to jail. I've been to jail 2 nights consecutively, so I've been to jail once. And that was when I served time for my second OWI, which I should have served time for. It's a scary place. Have you ever been in jail?
Yes, I have.
It's a scary place. Now, I don't know if you were, when you were in there, mine was just 12, 14 years ago. And I remember sitting in a pod, and I was playing cards with, now let me see if I can remember this. There was a forger on one side of me. Yes, I do remember. There was a drug addict on one side of me, and there was a manslaughter, murder. Well, I can't say murder, manslaughter, which later I followed that guy. All 3 of those guys were found guilty, by the way, of their crime. And, you know, we had Cheerios and Fruit Loops, and the sandwiches were okay, and we had one TV, and we had restroom, and we got to walk around, and it's just a scary, scary place. I'll never forget it. I want to take my grandsons there to tell them this is why you never drink and drive. But I don't, am I just a bigot? Am I just a bad man to think that a male does not, we don't need to pay, we do not need to pay for a guy who wants to transition from a male to a female? Well, you do. And it can be the other way around. I'm not, you know.
You do realize we're paying for Bradley Chelsea Manning, the guy who outed the secrets to WikiLeaks.
Yep.
I think he's in a federal penitentiary, and we're paying for his sex change operation.
Can you tell me why?
Political correctness, the left, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, socialist leftists, commies who want to the government food, civil rights, health care, and education is all civil rights.
All right.
Do they do, before you could have a sex change, do they give you any kind of a mental evaluation?
Well, yeah, it says here that the prison mental health professionals will make referrals. So they're the last stop on that tobacco route. So they're the last one. I just don't, I guess since Jesus mugged me, I realized I am who I am, and that's how he created me. And the only change that should happen inside of that creation is between the Lord and I. I don't know. I don't understand. I really don't. All right, some more news stories coming your way, including Seventh-day Adventists. Trump goes after Dr. Carson. We'll talk about that live here in Mac's World on 99.3. Thanks for listening.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, It's still fixed right or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money-back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
"22 minutes before the top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News. During the last few months, we have prepared for a new afternoon drive show, and it is here. It's me, it's Russ, it's Frank, it's Bob, it's Chris, it's you. You. It could be you. You know who I like on the radio more than anybody? People who aren't like me. Professional radio guys. I like people like you on the radio because you're passionate about something. In fact, I've got a guest in the next hour that'll be in studio with Tom Coates and I, who is simply passionate about the war on women, equal rights, gun control, and I found her on the internet. And I thought I'd have her on by phone, but she lives here locally. So Pat Nicholas is going to be on with us, and she's exactly the type of person that I want on this show. Russ, is this your first time on the radio ever?
Yes.
Now, you took a long time to answer that. Did you call into Dick Young's one time, long time ago?
Oh, yeah, I've done that. I've called in and talked to the DJ or somebody.
Okay. And Frank, of course, had never been on the radio live in a studio until a couple years ago. You can still tell that when he's on the radio. Amateur, very big amateur. Bob Montserrat, Cat in the Hat, a CSI scientist with the state of Iowa for 35 years, and he just joined me on the radio 6 years ago. I don't like people. I don't like professionals. I like regular people who have passion, and they have passionate about, hopefully, they have passionate in a relationship with Jesus. They have a passionate relationship with America, and they have a passionate relationship when it comes to certain things that are going on in this country. Not everything, just some things. I think you'll like Pat Nicholas. That's coming up next hour. All right. You know who OSHA is, right, Russ?
Yes.
The Occupational Safety and Health Administration. If I say OSHA to a laborer, especially someone who owns a company that works outside or construction or whatever, man, they'll give you the thumbs down. They'll tell you they're dangerous. They come in and they put down rules and things like that are just hard. Hard on companies, hard on us. Well, now they're being hard on the government because the Federal Safety Agency is proposing fining the Ottumwa Post Office saying that postal officials had been exposing mail carriers to, are you ready for this? What do you think we exposed them to? Probably dangerous gas, right?
No.
How about asbestos? Cancer-causing asbestos, right? Excessive heat on at least 2 occasions. Excessive heat. OSHA said in a news release today that on June 10th, the carrier reported heat illness symptoms and requested relief, but was told to complete the route. The heat index that afternoon was 100 degrees. OSHA also says a different Ottumwa mail carrier was hospitalized for a heat illness on July 13th. The carrier also had asked for relief due to feeling ill, but was told to complete the route. Now, I love mail carriers. I think they work hard. They do something I couldn't do, and that's every day out there delivering mail. I don't want to walk around in 20 below, and I don't want to walk around in 100 degrees. So you know why I don't have to do that?
Because you got a real job.
Because I'm not a mail carrier. I mean, you're a baseball umpire. Are you going to complain that balls are being thrown at your head? No. Are you going to complain that you have to stand behind somebody with a catcher's mitt and balls are flying by at a 98 mile an hour? No, it's part of the job. If you're a mail carrier in Iowa in the summer, you might be getting warm.
And as an umpire, you have all this stuff on, and people say, man, how do you handle the heat? And I go, this isn't even hot. Hot is when you work Florida State League baseball in southern Florida, 100 degrees every day because they don't want to play ball games at night. They want to play them in the afternoon, so they stay away from the rain.
So is the mail carriers filing for hazard pay now, Mac?
$46,000.
What happened to get your mail despite rain, sleet, and snow? And
well, we're taking out heat.
Okay.
It's now too hot. And later it'll probably be too cold. And the rain. You know, if they're like me and they wear glasses, the rain's a problem. I can't put little I can't put little windshield wipers on my glasses. And heavens to sake, can you imagine having to deliver mail in the snow in Iowa? Why would you ever have snow in Iowa in the middle of the winter? So if you're a mail carrier, seriously, don't hate me. I hope you feel the same way. This is ridiculous. I know it's hot. That's the job. It's not a religious thing. It's not a constitutional thing. My Constitution says that I don't have to deliver mail if it's over 91 degrees. It's not there. But I'm sure they're going to get money, and that's going to be the way it
Well,
is.
knowing something about the post office, being that my dad spent over 30 years there, I understand that the unions and the whiners down at the post office are just doing this to protect themselves because they really don't want to work. The truth of the matter is there's very few people that's down at the post office that really want to work anymore.
You know, I know that we have a term in this country, and I don't like that term, and that's going postal. You know, when someone gets all upset and goes into their workplace and hurts people. And no, just so you know, it's not guns. It's people. See, guns can't kill people. People kill people. You know that, don't you? Yeah. I mean, I learned that when I was watching Trigger with Roy Rogers when I was like 5.
I asked my dad one time, why so many postal shootings? Why not McDonald's shootings? Why not, other shootings? He said the post office has a unique ability to pit labor against management for some reason, and it just creates this hostile work environment where these guys go postal, as you say.
Well, and I think it's horrible that they do that, but it doesn't have anything to do with the post office. It doesn't have anything to do with guns. It has to do with people who decide they can't resolve their differences with other people, humans, animals, if you wish, and decide that life is so meaningless that they'll take not only their own eventually, but they'll take a dozen people or whatever down with them before they go. And I'm not so sure that that's a gun issue as much as it's a God issue. It's a heart issue. If for some reason you have such a poor relationship, or even worse, no relationship with your Creator, that you think so little about your fellow man that you will distinguish. Think about that word, distinguish their life. Destroy their families, their children, their grandchildren.
Extinguish.
Maybe their parents who are still alive. No parent should bury a child, especially because of human-on-human violence. So why do we continue to blame guns? You know, why don't we blame cars? If we got rid of cars, you know how many people would still be alive? Because they wouldn't be flying down the interstate at 90 miles an hour. You wouldn't have police chases killing hundreds and hundreds. You wouldn't have drunken driving. You'd probably have Festus on a mule. And he's easy to catch. You know, maybe the days of the old western towns were the way we should go back to. Get rid of our cell phones. Spend time with our children. Rather than sit in front of the DVR and watch just absolutely mindless programming. And I do it myself. Guilty. I resemble this remark. Maybe we could spend time reading a book to our grandchildren and to the neighbor's kid. And maybe we wouldn't be so fat and obese if we'd go outside and work rather than sit and suck in sugar and carbohydrates. And more than anything, maybe if we just respected our Creator and what He created us to be, we'd be a lot better off. An amazing story going back almost 90 years. Coming up next, live on The Truth.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can give these grandkids back, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We can help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, I'm J. Michael McCoy, and about 20 years ago, I went to a used car salesman by the name of John Hewitt. He had a little shop over there on North 2nd Avenue called John's Auto Sales, and I bought a car. I found that experience to be one that I had never had before from a used car salesman. He was honest, he was dependable, he had integrity, and he did what he said he was going to do. Well, over the years, between my kids and grandkids, I purchased 7 vehicles from John's Auto Sales. And last month, I asked him to be a sponsor. I can tell you about their huge selection. I can tell you about their years of experience. I can tell you about their honest integrity. But all I really need to tell you is that I bought 7 cars, and you can trust them. John's Auto Sales, 5435 2nd Avenue, Des Moines.
You need a good ride when you hit the trail. Trust the man with the cars, and he goes by the name of Big John. Big John. Big John.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
All right, 10 minutes before the top of the hour, 4 o'clock, Salem Radio Network News. And then we're back. Tom Coates will be in. I'm going to introduce you to my special guest. Is it Patricia or Pat? What do you prefer? I prefer Pat. Pat Nichols from a local community here is a she's an internet sensation for the right reasons. You know, a lot of people go viral, quote unquote viral, because of bad things, stupid things said, stupid things done, people making fun of them, the horrible, horrible things that we do to other people without realizing how we hurt their hearts and we hurt their families by making fun of them. This isn't that type of viral. Pat, has put out 2 different videos, and they're only like 2.5 minutes long. I mean, it's not like this pontification of, if Frank was on the radio, it'd be on and on and on and on and on. No, she was, in fact, both of them, you were sitting in your car.
Right.
And if you want to see them, go to YouTube and put in her name, Pat Nicholas. If you go to my Facebook page, they're both on there. And you can see she is a woman she's conservative, and she's of common sense. And I have to tell you, I think the way she'll describe that common sense as she can in the videos, and hopefully she'll do on the radio. It's kind of weird being on the radio for the first time, all these people listening, and you don't know. And well, the genuine her is sitting in her car with these videos being recorded. And the one about Hillary, they're both about Hillary Clinton. Just kill me. Just destroy me. I love them. Because I don't like Hillary, and I don't think she should be the next president of the United States. I don't think she should have been a Secretary of State. I don't think she should have been a senator. And I don't know why. I don't know. This woman lost her law license. This woman was kicked off of the Watergate Committee for lying. And she's the top contender for the president's job? Does the presidency mean so little anymore? Are we just electing the jokers? Is that it? If you want to be president, just be an idiot and lie and cheat and steal.
The Clintons have no shame. They never go away and give the American people a rest from their scandals and their behavior. They get drugged out kicking and screaming everywhere they leave. And she just thinks that she's entitled, and she's ready to assume her coronation soon.
Well, I pray that the low information voters get smart before next November. Not this November, but next November. Because we can't do this again to our country. I mean, we can't. We cannot promise things to people just to get them to vote for us. You got to check out on my Facebook page about Jordan Flats. He's a local businessman here. Jordan Flatt actually took a picture of his new health insurance bill. You can't believe what his family is now paying per month for health insurance. Because remember, if you like your old insurance, you can keep your old insurance. And remember that it's going to go down. Oh, Obamacare, costs are going to go down. And then they lied in front of the Supreme Court. I don't know. I know if you voted for him, have you repent yet? I'm serious. I'm not laughing. Have you repented? Or do you still think he's all that and more? If you think he's all that and more, I would like you to call me and tell me, and I promise I'll be a perfect gentleman. I won't even argue with you.
Mac, he's all that in a bag of chips.
General Blackjack Pershing, born September 13th, 1860. Died July 15th, 1948. You may have heard this story before, but I want you to know that it's not an urban legend, that it's the real McCoy. Just before World War I, there were a number of terrorist attacks on the United States forces in the Philippines by Muslim extremists. So General Pershing captured 50 terrorists, had them tied to posts for execution. Now, I just want to stop right here and say I'm not in favor of killing anybody except to defend yourself and in war. So I'm not saying that he should have tied these people up to posts and executed them. But that's cowboy justice. That's the way we did it back in those days. We didn't have 10-year-long appeals and appeals and appeals. So he tied him up for the executions. He then had his men bring in 2 pigs, slaughter them in front of the now horrified terrorist. I don't know if you know this, but Muslims detest pork because they believe pigs are filthy animals. Some of them simply refuse to eat it, while others won't even touch pigs at all, nor any of their byproducts. To them, eating or touching a pig, its meat, its blood, etc., is to be instantly barred from paradise and all those virgins and doomed to hell. Pigs. The soldiers then soaked the bullets in pig's blood and proceeded to execute 49 of the terrorists by firing squad. The soldiers then dug a big hole, dumped in the terrorist bodies, and covered them in the pig blood, etc. Now, you say, Mac, you said they had 50 tied to posts. That's right. They killed 49. They let the 50th man go so he could go back to his generals, his top brass, and tell them what a horrifying thing these horrible Americans did in war. For the next 42 years, there was not a single Muslim extremist attack anywhere in the world. Maybe it is time for this segment of history to repeat itself. Maybe in Afghanistan. Maybe in Iraq. Maybe in Iran. The question is, where do we find another Black Jack Pershing?
We'll find one as soon as we can stop fighting politically correct wars.
So if we know, and just think about this, if we know the Achilles heel of the enemy, far greater than a bullet, you realize if you die, as a Muslim, if you die fighting for your religion, you go to heaven with 72 virgins or something like that. Why do we not use their Achilles heel? Why do we not rain blood, pig's blood, from helicopters? Isn't that a lot more humane than blowing them up and shooting them? What if we just did what they told us would be the worst thing we could do to them? I mean, wouldn't you kind of laugh at how easily the enemy was deterred from killing another 100,000 Americans? I don't know. Think about it. I know the whole concept of cut up pigs and pig's blood is appalling. Ew. I was raised on a pig farm, and I know what that looks like. I know it's not a pretty sight. But the point is, if we know what the enemy's Achilles heel is, and we can take them out without ever firing a shot, wouldn't we try? Isn't it time we tried some common sense rather than, as Frank said, political correctness? Next hour, I'm going to introduce you to a young lady who thinks with that kind of level of common sense. Her name is Pat. You'll meet her next. Salem Radio Network News around the corner, and we'll see you back here live with Tom Coates on Max World Live on 99.3. This is KTIA, Iowa.